Howdy, everyone. It's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon by talking about their merchandises, TV shows, programs, whatever the case may be, or whatever and whatnot. In this case, it's going to be basically a response video to a podcast that was done by a religious individual. Because, of course, it seems like these religious individuals have a bone to pick with Disney, this guy, and this David dude. And of course, he's pretty well known, obviously, and he would have these debates, of course. Obviously, he would talk about politics, of course, and whatnot. But when it comes to having a reliable source of information, and I don't exactly trust a lot of the Christians when it comes to this kind of a thing because a lot of them, not all, would just exaggerate. And for this case, you want to bring up Christmas. What does Christmas have to do with anything? I don't know. Something about Jesus, even though Jesus was technically born during the summer, but okay, whatever. It's up my ass, I suppose. And while I was never a fan of Christmas, but it does have its merits, I guess you can say. But he's trying to compare it to Star Wars: The Force Awakens, pretty much saying that the entire holiday of Christmas, it's much more grand, it's much more better, it's much more greater than the film. Which, if you ask me, while the film itself isn't exactly perfect by any means, but it just seems like Chris is like him, the vast majority of the fan base seems to be picking this film, even though it's not that bad, really. And of course, if I had to take a guess at this, it's because she's a woman. That's why this David dude is seems to be talking trash about the film because she's a woman. And yes, yeah, sounds about right. And of course, I'll let you guys listen to what he has to say and whatnot, of course. And I'll just make my response here and there, obviously. But that's basically the setup of what I'm talking about. To give you some context of what I'm talking about. And it's not really surprising, really. I mean, it sucks that this happens, but it's not surprising because of the fact it just seems like everybody and the grandma see, and their ancestors, and then their ancestors would show love to pick on the Star Wars sequel trilogy, which again, while not exactly perfect by any means, I didn't think they were all that bad either. Right? So, what are you talking about? Some Christians, some fans, okay, the vast majority of them anyway, would just claim that it's too woke. It was inspired by the feminist movement, or the feminazis to be more exact, or say something like the fact that the social justice warriors had influenced Disney somehow to make these movies and whatnot, which of course is a complete lie. Where others would just complain that these films are just too political, which makes no sense considering the fact that these movies were always political to begin with. Yes, even in the god awful prequel trilogy and in even in the original trilogy as well. So again, what are you talking about? The point being, they just seem to love to pick on this, and I noticed a good chunk of religious people seem to be attacking the sequel trilogy because there's a female lead. Oh no, no, no! Never mind the fact that the original trilogy had a female character that played an important role. And why there wasn't really a female lead in the prequel trilogy, but there was a woman that did also play an important role as well in the prequel trilogy. So, and again, okay, how's that you ignore those two things, but we'll play heavy emphasis on this? I know some people just trying to tell me, oh, they're just trying to shove the woman stuff down my throat, yada yada yada. And I'm just, come on, people, give me a break. All right then, folks, enough with this yada yada yada, blah 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 blah. Enough of the talking. Let's just get straight to the point. And I should anyway because this is gonna be a fairly lengthy video, which I'm well cut into parts, by the way. So whoever you are, thank you for watching this, folks. So let's get into it, shall we? So here we go.
Underwhelming today. Got a little bit of something going on. I don't feel probably as bad as I sound, so apologies in advance for that. And just another quick announcement before we start on the topic. The final My Boy Ben book signing of the year is today, Saturday, December 19th. If you're a listener in the Twin Cities, I'm going to be over at the General Store of Minnetonka later this morning at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The General Store, which is an amazing store, by the way, a gift store, just a unique place. And I'll be there over there at 11 a.m. this morning if you'd like to get a signed and personalized copy of My Boy Ben. That's right on Highway 7, just about a quarter mile to the west of Interstate 494. And I'll mention that later in the program as well. So why Christmas is so much better than Star Wars? You know, Colossians 2, verse 8 says, "See to it that no one takes you captive through philosophy and empty deception, according to the tradition of men, according to the elementary principle."
What exactly is Star Wars lying about? Really? So you're trying to claim that holiday, which actually was originally a pagan holiday, by the way, which you Christians stole. Now who's the liar? So you're trying to tell me that just because these holiday, which you project your own principles onto, by the way, is better just because of that, and Star Wars is lying about something at some point for some reason. You realize it's fantasy, right? You realize it's made up. I mean, it may be based upon some actual stuff, at least to some extent, anyway. But even then, it's like okay, it's a story about good and evil. I mean, okay, that's always simplistic, but when you get to there's that kind of stuff going on. So you're not making any sense. You're already not making any sense.
Of the world rather than according to Christ. Now, this past Thursday, just a couple days ago, right in the heart of the Christmas season, the 7th film in the mega popular Star Wars series was released. It's entitled The Force Awakens. With an overall cost of production and marketing approaching $500 million, it's no wonder the creators are hoping it surpasses the $2 billion mark in expected earnings. But the Star Wars series is much more than a big budget science fiction action and adventure film. For millions of people around the world, the quote, "May the Force be with you" theme of Star Wars resonates as either a full-blown religion or a guiding worldview to be embraced. So today in the Christian Worldview, we'll be discussing the worldview behind the film and then getting to the point why Christmas is so much better than Star Wars. You know, I've been reading the book of Hebrews recently.
Well, yes, The Force Awakens was actually released during the Christmas holiday. That is true. But so what? He took this as if it was a stab towards Christianity, which it wasn't. And that's basically what he's arguing about. He's mad at the fact that The Force Awakens was released during Christmas. Even though, despite the fact there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of films being released during the same time of year. Yeah, you don't get in this movie's case. That don't make no sense at all. And even if Disney was competing against Christian films, well, it's a capitalist system. They have every right to do so if they wanted to. So what?
The first chapter of the book of Hebrews, it talks about that Christ being so much better than the angels. And you would think that we should know that. I mean, of course, Christ is better than the angels. He's the Son of God. He's not created like the angels. He's the Son of God. But apparently, God wanted us to be reminded of that, how much better Christ is than the angels. And it says in Hebrews chapter 1, God, after he spoke long ago to the fathers and the prophets in many portions and in many ways, in these last days has spoken to us in his Son, whom he appointed heir of all things, through whom also he made the world. And he, Jesus, is the radiance of God's glory, in the exact representation.
In simpler terms, what he's getting at is that, oh, Jesus, God, and all that made the world and whatnot. You're unfaithful if you like the film for taking more than anything related to Christ. And of course, it's a guilt trip because it's a very much of a guilt trip. And you feel bad. Oh, you've been disgraceful. You acting like a little brat. You're the one in the wrong for likeness. Therefore, you should feel bad because if Jesus doesn't like it, if God doesn't like it, Or if, okay, in this case, this David dude, if this David dude doesn't like it, therefore you shouldn't like it, just because he doesn't like it. So yeah, he's trying to have his own self-proposed morals onto this. Which I highly doubt he actually saw the movie, if we're gonna be honest here, folks. And even if he did, he probably took a lot of it out of context, which a lot of these Christians tend to do, and like a vast majority of the time. So that's what he's trying to get. He wants you to feel bad when you think about that. That's about it, really. This guy. I mean, really.
Of his nature, and he upholds all things by the word of his power. When he, Jesus, had made purification of sins, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high of God, having become as much better than the angels, as he has inherited a more excellent name than they. And then he goes on to these comparisons about
Excuse me, David. That's your name, right? Are you done writing Jesus' dick already? I mean, Christ, man, come on.
between Christ and the angels. For to which of the angels did he ever say, "You are my son, today I have begotten you"? And again, I will be a father to him, to Jesus, and he shall be a son to me. And when he again brings the firstborn
Again, to simplify it, worship your parents. That's he's trying to get at. Worship anybody that's an authoritative figure, pretty much.
Christ into the world, he says, and let all the angels of God worship him. But to the Son, he says,
Okay, Jesus is the Son of God, or he is God, depending on which version of the Bible you're talking about. Or just an ordinary man, if you're talking about the Jewish version. But okay, he's Jesus is great. Jesus is the greatest Mary Sue of them all. Okay, I get it. He can do no wrong, and whatever bad happens to him, it would be a okay at the end. Okay, I get it. I get it. He's righteous. He's purely good. He's the most innocent, most fantastic human being in existence. Okay, of all people. Okay, I get it. I get it. All right, I get it. I don't hammer that in so much. But I still don't get how Star Wars is lying about something, and how is Christmas itself is any better than this movie? Again, uh, Christmas was actually stolen from the pagans. Like I said earlier, when you get down to it, it was never really a Christian thing to begin with. So again, yes, if anybody's lying, it's Christians like you, if anything.
throne, O God, is forever and ever, and the righteous scepter is the scepter of his kingdom. So there's this comparison made in Hebrews chapter 1.
What is this comparison you're talking about? You didn't really say all that much, really.
Between Christ and the angels, and there's just no comparison.
What comparison are you talking about?
And right now, a movie, Star Wars, is competing with Christmas in a way for the public's attention. And ironically,
Oh no, Christian movies are facing competition in the capitalist country. What shall we ever do? The war is ending. There's a famine outside. Plague is here on all and every disease imaginable that from long ago has came back. The Black Plague is here. Oh no, the war is ending. Oh God, maybe I just pray it away. You Christians always talking about praying. Let's just pray Star Wars away. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Oh dear Jesus, dear Heavenly Father, please make Star Wars go away. Make Star Wars go away right now, please. Right now, right now. Make Star Wars go away. Come on, Jesus, make Star Wars go away. Do it. Do it. Do it.
the creators of it, they're using the popularity of this time of year, the celebration of Christ's birth, to launch the film, to draw people in, you could say, to the film's unbiblical worldview. So I think if God had to tell us why Christ is better than the angels, we could use a reminder why Christ's birth is so much better than Star Wars.
Yep. Now he's talking about the fact that the birth of Jesus, that right there, that moment itself, is like a billion times better than the Force Awakens. Oh boy, how insecure do you have to be to bring up these kinds of moments? in a book, a lot of people had debate to be actually real or not. So again, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. It's just a movie. It's just a movie. Oh, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. I mean, okay, to be fair here, you can always argue that Star Wars as a whole, the entire franchise, it does have a cultural impact, and it did actually change a lot of people's lives. Okay, I'll give you that. So, but my point is that it's not the movie itself is going to give it like a hand job or anything. Is what I'm getting at. Come on, give me a break here. It's not like he's trying to punch somebody's baby and take the baby away or whatever. He's trying to act like as if the Force Awakens is like this most horrific thing ever of all time, just because it was released during Christmas. Well, and releasing it during Christmas does make sense because during Christmas, when you think about it, people are less likely to go out. So there may not be as many movies being released in theaters during that period of time. So the director must have knew that and thought this seems like a perfect time. And since Star Wars is a well-known property at this point by a lot of fans, so it just seems to be less competition against Star Wars. People most likely see that instead.
Now, just some background information on Star Wars from Wikipedia. The
I just got to telling you about Christians not having a reliable source of information. You went to Wikipedia of all the damn places you could have gone to. You went there, there of all places. That doesn't really make any sense, like at all. Oh boy, yeah. And okay, this tells me he's not very knowledgeable at all when it comes to, of course, the expanded lore of Star Wars when it comes to video games, comics, or whatever else you can think of. Short stories, maybe, I guess. But he knows absolutely nothing about it. He wants to make an opinion about it.
Awakens is a 2015 American epic space opera film. A space opera film, directed, co-produced, and co-written by a man named J.J. Abrams. He's the new producer taking over from Wayne Lucas. The seventh installment in the main Star Wars film series, The Force Awakens, is set approximately 30 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. So these films are, they don't necessarily come in order. I think that the first three films were actually number 4, 5.
Oh, come on. You're trying to judge this film, you're trying to criticize it, and you don't even know aware of the fact that these films were released in not in a chronicle order. It was 4, 5, and 6, then 1, 2, and 3, and then 7, 8, and 9. Okay. I know it may be difficult to keep track of for some people. And then, of course, there might be some in betweens movies like Han Solo or even Rogue One on top of all that. And then there's also the Clone Wars, the animated movie, which is supposed to take place in between episode 3 and, yeah, 2 and 3. And then on top of that, on top of that, on top of that, there's also the books, the TV shows, the animations, there's quite a few other stuff as well. And but again, could you just try to educate yourself a bit when it comes to this kind of material? Give me a break, will you?
6 of the Star Wars series. The next 3 were number 1, 2, and 3, and now this one that just released is number 7, and there's 2 more to come after this.
Does this dude have like a point or anything? And okay, can you get on with it already, please?
The Force Awakens is the first film, I just said, in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, announced after Walt Disney's company acquisition of Lucasfilm in October 2012. And by the way, Walt Disney bought Lucasfilm.
And then there was also this Japanese girl who wore skimpy outfits at this club where she would pole dance for me because I paid her, I guess. And then also she's a screw girl on top of that. And then one day when she didn't have work or know how to go to school, we went to this local coffee shop in San Francisco where we just spoke about what she wants to do after she graduates, and she was thinking of becoming a lingerie model. See what I'm doing there? Talking about a whole lot of nothing, and that's what he's doing. And then but yeah, then after that she just sucked my.
$4 billion because they knew how valuable the Star Wars series was. Filming for this film began in April 2014 in Abu Dhabi in the Middle East and in Iceland, with principal photography also taking place in Ireland and in England. Disney backed the film with an extensive marketing campaign, and it is expected to break box office records with projected profits. So this is profits exceeding $1 billion. 2 sequels are scheduled for release in 2017 and 2019, respectively. Now let's get down to who created this most recent Star Wars film. J.J. Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan both planned out the story while walking for miles in places like Santa Monica, New York City, Paris, and London. The first draft was completed in 6 weeks. Abrams said that the key for the film was to return to the roots of the first Star Wars film and be based more on emotion than explanation. On April 16th, 2015, earlier this year, a second teaser trailer was shown at the opening panel at the Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, California. I mean, they have like these events leading up to it. You know, people are so excited about it. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy said the reaction to the trailer was, quote, staggering. The entire room of almost 8,000 people just leapt to their feet and roared. I mean, I can't think of anything I've ever been to other than a rock concert that felt quite like that.
Is it my turn to talk? Okay. I highly doubt that you actually went to a rock concert because that's Satan's music, according to you Christians. So yeah, I don't think you did. I'm not convinced.
That trailer was viewed over 88 million times within the first 24 hours of release, breaking the record of 62 million held by Furious 7 in November 2014. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the second teaser trailer amassed 30 million in 24 hours, setting a new record for the most viewed movie trailer on YouTube in 24 hours. The event was broadcast live by Verizon on the YouTube, StarWars.com, and in movie theaters as well. And here is that trailer. It's just about, I just got about 39 seconds of it, and you can get a taste of what was so popular about this Star Wars trailer. Strong in my family. I have it. My father has it. And you have the potential. You have the power to have it too. This issue, this idea of the Force is the thread that runs.
Okay, not just trying to sound like a potential nerd. Okay, well, then again, what do I care? Um, that was actually Luke Skywalker saying to Princess Leia in episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So you quoted the wrong movie in the franchise, and again, you know nothing about these films like at all. Rather than just the basic stuff. So rather than studying, you don't make assumptions. Okay.
All through Star Wars, and we're going to get into what that Force actually is today. Now, gotquestions.org, a site we commonly refer to just for background information on spiritual questions.
So here's the exact quote referring to the Force when it comes to Obi-Wan Kenobi when he's stating A New Hope, Episode 4. I'm pretty sure he didn't know that, at least not really. So yeah, of course he's going to take this completely out of context and just refer to it as something completely different, which has nothing to do with any of these movies, like at all. I mean, okay, granted, to be fair, this was actually contradicted in episode 1 when this guy said it had something to do with the bloodstream and midichlorians or whatever that was, which makes no sense at all, like whatsoever. That's just stupid, really stupid. Anyway, here we go.
It says there is a quasi-religion in the Star Wars universe too, and that religion has adherents in the real world. It's called Jediism, or the Jedi religion. In the Star Wars universe, the Jedi are the main keepers of the peace and the good guys, so to speak. The Jedi are also a monastic religious order of sorts. They follow ancient traditions and use an unseen mystical power called the...
Okay, but what does this have to do with this film specifically? Shouldn't that be like all the movies? Like every single one of them? Not just this one? When you think about it? Because what he's referring to is like having a bunch of fans that have like they would get together and just practice the Jedi ways. Which yes, that is a thing for a lot of these fans, and no judgment here. Uh, but the thing is, when it comes to the Force itself, the literal Force in Star Wars, it was intentionally vague on purpose. You can project any kind of religion if you want to, if any at all. You don't necessarily have to because the Star Wars built its own thing in its own way. But if anything, bottom line, what's getting mad is that, oh no, somebody's practicing a different religion. How dare you? They don't know what this had to do with this film specifically, but okay, sure, whatever. Is that what the whole quote unquote line bit that you were referring to earlier? That is that what you're referring to? The whole line bit? You realize they're not going like the Jehovah's Witnesses would. They're not going door to door, or just stand outside some store, hand out pamphlets, or do what the Mormons would do, just talk to people when they can. They're not doing anything like that by any means. You can do it if you want to by your own free will.
The Force, which supposedly binds and flows through the entire universe. The idea that the Force is real and not fantasy has led to a Jedi religion. Real life followers of Jediism treat the fiction of Star Wars as a blueprint for a religious or philosophic belief system. A number of organizations have created everything from doctrinal creeds to training programs to take a person from a Padawan, an initiate, to Jedi Master. One group, the Temple of the Jedi Order, is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt religious organization. Now, we might be able to respond to that.
Okay, this makes him a big old hypocrite because the fact that the Jediism, or whatever you call it, he was referring to a moment ago, the fact their church can be won't be taxed is what he's upset about. But the thing is that a lot of Christian churches, Catholics, and Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, and all that, or whatever else you can think of, they won't be taxed either. And so you mean to tell me it's okay for one religion to not be taxed, but the other be taxed too? He basically is upset at the fact that one religion may get more attention than the other. Is what he's referring to. But no wonder he was stroking Jesus' ego a few months ago. Okay, now this makes more sense. Okay, not really, but you can see what he's trying to go at. Of course. Boy, this is laughable. This is funny. I think it's funny. I mean, it's serious, but it's funny. At least to me, anyway. All right, like I said, folks, I have to, of course, split this into another part because yeah, there's a lot to go into. Even though technically speaking, the dude over here, David, whatever his name is, David, he's saying absolutely nothing. Okay, tell me how much they made, or at least at the very least, hopefully they will make. Yet the film did ultimately became one of the biggest successes, and George Lucas himself did get a little jealous about this when he claimed that Disney was doing like a whole white slaver kind of a thing. That's only because of the fact that it actually did better. It performed better than the prequel trilogy. And I actually like the Force Awakens more than that. I don't know what he's complaining about really because of the fact that he was there. He was actually even though he given up the rights, but he was still there to be in the pitch meetings. The early script treatments when it comes to the Force Awakens. I mean, he couldn't do much really, but he was there to pitch some ideas maybe. So I don't know what he's talking about. So yes, George Lucas had some sort of involvement in it, at least to some extent. Anyway, so yeah, this David guy, he was just rambling on a bunch of other stuff. I still don't see the connection on what he's talking about. Really? Okay, I'm okay. He just keeps bringing the fact that it was released during Christmas. During Christmas, it was released during Christmas. It was released during Christmas. Released during Christmas. It was released during Christmas. It was released during Christmas. Who cares? Come on. That's not evidence. That's not enough evidence in itself. Oh, whatever. All right, stay tuned for part two, folks. Ugh.